Well, Morris, we're here to talk about Argentinian soccer. No, we're going to tell you your favorite subject.
The weather outside looks like it's time for Argentinian soccer, but no, the OHL starting again for another year, and I guess we need to talk about favorites. I don't know, who is the favorites?
Yeah, Owen Sound's going to be good. They get Londoner Nick Suzuki. He almost had 100 points. He's going to get 120. He'll probably be the top scorer in the league. And then you got the Sioux's good again. Well, the London Knights, what do you think?
What about Windsor?
Well, Windsor, I talked to Warren Eichel, and he said that we're a playoff team. We're going to be a playoff team. So, but there's only 8 in each conference, right?
Okay. So what about the other division? Who do you like in the other division? Do you like Mississauga? I hear they're going to be pretty good.
Mississauga.
They were supposed to be good last year, and they went in. They were terrible. So this is the point I'm going to make.
They rallied to make the final.
Well, but they were terrible during the season.
They were early in the first half of the year.
So this is the point, okay? What is the use of prognosticating hockey? Honestly, you know that there's some teams that should be there all the time. Like the London Knights should be there all the time. You know why? Because they have lots of money. They have a big rent that attracts players, and they seem to attract players. So even if they don't look too good at the beginning of the year, you know that somewhere along the line they're going to find some players that are going to come in and are going to be able to fill the roles. That's the one thing.
The difference between the two conferences is that the Western Conference is close to Michigan, and Illinois and Ohio, they can get the Americans, the prime Americans, and the big franchises get them to report. Whereas in the East, they don't have much of a chance. They'll tell you that too.
Well, yeah, but the other problem is more logistical in terms that no one knows what's going to happen in this league until you get into, you know, January, late January. I mean, take a look at last year. Who would have predicted that Windsor would have won the Memorial Cup after they couldn't get by London in the playoff
series?
Well,
they had a 25% chance.
Well, they did, but the reality is, who's going to see that happen again? You know, so I think the bottom line is you can predict all you want at this time of year as far as teams and them being good. You're not going to get a clear picture of what's going to go on probably until January, when people start signing their final players, when they start bringing in players, when you can see who's going to load up, right? So, you know, I think that you look at the London Knights, you look at teams like Sault Ste. Marie, you look at teams like Owen Sound for sure. You know, who do they have coming back? Who's going to make the NHL? Surprisingly, if they're going to make the NHL.
Oh yeah, how many times has that killed teams? Sarnia last year lost 3 guys to the NHL, 19 years old. Eh? What are you going to do?
So I think the reality in the OHL these days is, you know, the first 3 months are almost like an extended training camp, and you can see where players who can play and who can't play, and then the rest of the time, the next month is going to be who can find players to fill up the package. And the teams that have been most successful at that, you know, teams like London and even Windsor last year, eventually that panned out for them, although you didn't think it would in the playoffs. So who's going to fill in the pieces? Who's going to mature enough? And the number one thing, which I think might be a problem with a lot of teams, who's going to stop the puck? Because goaltending seems to always be a key in the OHL.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a key. And you're looking at some Mikey DiPietro in Windsor. He's coming back. Best goalie in the league. You know, he's won the cup. Kind of like Tyler Parsons.
Exactly.
Coming back. And then if Windsor makes the playoffs, he's going to be a factor. Hey, we've seen goalies. Dylan Wells in Peterborough, he could be a game-changing goalie. Not a lot of game-changing goalies this year. I think we're seeing fewer and fewer, and this goes back to minor hockey.
Yeah.
Parents don't want their kids playing in that. So the teams have to look further and further and further to find goalies, and they're a lot less confident in their goalies to start the year. The goalies have to prove themselves to each and every time out.
And I think it's a real far reach that if you find someone like a Parsons again, who was signed in a free agent and turned out to be a game changer. So that's few and far between. So the key to me is who gets better come December, who can identify what they need come December, and that's who's going to wind up winning championships.
Well, so why don't we just tune in December? The bottom line is, though, standing-wise, these teams at the top of the West are always separated by 2 or 3, and they always kick themselves. They're like, if we didn't lose that game in Barrie, or that in Saginaw, we lost to Saginaw at home, and that ruined them, right? You think of how everything would change. The London and Windsor in the first round, if London wins 1 more game or something, they don't have to do that, right?
Which is
that's tough. That's this conference is the best in junior hockey, right?
Which is why I said at the beginning of the show, predicting what's going to happen in the OHL a week before the season, it isn't worth it because it's all going to change. I'm Morris Della Costa.
And I'm Ryan Payette for Post Media Network. We'll see you at the rink.